Have you ever logged into your music distributor and thought, I don't think they're sending me all my music royalties? Well, that's because music royalties aren't exactly what they seem. And by the end of this video, I'm going to show you how to collect all your music royalties, not just the one that gets sent by your distributor. First things first, what are streaming royalties anyways, and why is this the magic royalty that your distributor actually pays out? Well, you may not realize it, but when you upload your master recording to DistroKid, you are literally granting them a license to allow businesses like Spotify and Apple Music to profit off of your creative work. That license is called a master use license, and when someone streams your song on Spotify, you get paid a royalty because of that license. Well, Spotify pays your distributor, and then your distributor pays you. But that's just one type of royalty that's paid to you because of the use of your master recording. And it might sound strange, but Spotify doesn't actually pay any of your songwriting royalties to your distributor, and that's why you're not getting anything from them. In fact, there are more royalty categories than musicians even realize exist, and there's a collection society for each. Let's first talk about the two types of royalties that are most relevant to you as a songwriter. The first being performance royalties, and the other being mechanical royalties. Now, performance royalties seem to make sense because every time you perform your music, a royalty is generated, but there are more types of performances that generate a performance royalty, such as your music being streamed, used on the radio, even in film and television, or a cover song. All of those generate performance royalties that get paid out to the songwriter and the publisher. Your distributor does not pay out these performance royalties because Spotify doesn't pay that royalty to your distributor at all. Instead, Spotify pays that royalty to a performing rights organization, and you have one for your country. For example, in America, the most popular PROs are ASCAP, BMI, and CSAC. A songwriter needs to affiliate with a performing rights organization directly, and that PRO pays out their songwriting and publishing royalties. Now, that other type of royalty, mechanical royalties, they are still paid out to the songwriter and the publisher, but they're generated in a different way, and there's a different collection society that pays out that royalty. Mechanical royalties are generated whenever your song is reproduced, and that can be in a mechanical form, such as a CD or a vinyl, but it could also be a digital reproduction, such as a digital download of your song, or even streaming counts as a reproduction of your song because there's a tiny little copy of your music that's downloaded to the computer or the phone whenever someone streams your song, and that generates a mechanical royalty as well. Every country has a mechanical royalty collection society. For example, in the United States, it's the Mechanical Licensing Collective, and you need to affiliate with that collection society in order to collect your mechanicals as a songwriter. But that only covers you in the United States, and if your music is on Spotify, it's probably getting streamed worldwide, and you would have to affiliate with every mechanical collection society in the world in order to get foreign mechanical royalties. But thankfully, there is a service that does all of this registration for you, and that service is called Songtrust. Songtrust is not the sponsor of this video. I just really like what they do because they help you collect 98% of the music royalty mechanical market with just one registration. This would cover you in your home country as well as over 200 foreign countries and territories where mechanical royalties are being generated for your music. So if you still need something like Songtrust to collect your global mechanical royalties, both the songwriter and the publishing side, then click the link in the description to support the channel, but also to get $10 off your Songtrust membership. At this point, we've covered a lot of ground, but there are still more places you need to register to complete your royalty picture. And fair warning, this next section is a little bit complicated because it depends on which country you live in. But if you would prefer to have a downloadable version of everything that I'm covering in this video so that you can read it slowly and reference back so you can collect every single royalty you're owed, if that would help you, then check the description where I'll leave a link for my music royalty collection guide. That guide covers everything I've mentioned in this video and more, and even tells you exactly where you need to register. This next royalty category is called neighboring rights royalties, and these are generated when your song is performed in a neighboring country or territory. This is different from Songtrust because Songtrust captures the mechanical royalty and neighboring rights royalties are a performance royalty. To find your neighboring rights society, all you have to do is Google your country's name and then neighboring rights society, and it should come up as the first Google result. For example, in the United Kingdom, your neighboring rights society is PPL. But if you're an artist based in the United States, you actually don't get neighboring rights royalties at all because the United States is not one of the signatory countries that has agreed to share neighboring rights royalties with the other signatory countries. In other words, there's a club and the United States is not in it, and we have our own thing going on, which brings us to non-interactive streaming royalties collected by Sound Exchange. Sound Exchange is the performing rights organization that pays out on our version of neighboring rights royalties. And in the United States, under US law, Sound Exchange pays out on digital performances only. A digital performance is also known as a non-interactive stream, and platforms like Pandora, SiriusXM, and other satellite and internet radio stations where you can't choose the exact song, they pay out digital performance royalties to Sound Exchange. To make things even more complicated, digital performance royalties pay different people. As I mentioned earlier, traditional performance royalties paid out by your PRO are paid to the songwriter and the publisher. But as you can see, digital performance royalties don't involve the songwriter or publisher at all. They pay different parties. 50% of the royalty goes to the rights owner. That's the owner of the master recording. Next, 45% goes to the featured artist on that recording. And this is a category that I've not mentioned at all in this video so far. So if you are a cover artist, this is a special category for you that only Sound Exchange pays out at this time. That last 5% gets paid out to unionized session and backup musicians. So if you are a performing songwriter and not a unionized session musician, then you don't qualify for that last 5%. Clearly, there's a lot that goes into collecting all of your music royalties, and I suggest starting by affiliating with your local performing rights organization so that you can start collecting your songwriting and your publishing royalties. But before you do that, be sure to watch this video so you don't make any mistakes, whether it be with BMI or any other performing rights organization.